Excellent.
Hey, Malachi, how you doing? I'm Bernardo Zarowski.
I'm,
It's nice to meet you.
it's nice to meet you too. And your mission statement is stunningly beautiful. That's awesome.
Thank
It's
you.
really
I
lovely. Yeah,
I
no, it's great.
I appreciate you reading it.
Of course, my God,
Trying
yeah.
trying to build something interesting here.
That's all we can try to do.
It's very true. So what drew you to this project in particular?
Well, firstly, an audition. That was the
Mhm.
first thing that drew me to it. And the opportunity to work with these great people. I told myself during the pandemic, someone was like, how would you work? And I was like, I wouldn't work not on a bet unless I was like, I don't know, a lead in a movie. If it was like something in Canada, maybe, or New Zealand. And it was like, oh, you got to lead in a movie in Canada. I was like, oh, okay. And then obviously, just a character that was new for me, Alyssa Milano, just everything about it. I was like, this seems like it could be really cool.
How did the audition process work? Was it done in person over, I guess, over Zoom? How does it work during a pandemic?
I think people have done it different ways. I think mostly it's over Zoom, but I know for me personally, I don't have a lot of like live Zoom auditions. I have put yourself on tape and send it in. So that was that. I put myself on tape with a reader, did the best I could, sent it in, and probably went back to watching Netflix.
Is this a genre that you've been drawn to in your own interest, the sort of lurid serial killer type story?
I've had some late nights marathons of things like that, perhaps, but we're not going to talk about that. You'll keep that out, right? Thrillers, though. I mean, I love thrillers for sure.
Process like for you filming during COVID? I gather it was up in Vancouver, but how
Yeah.
different was it for you in terms of restrictions, face masking, all the other things we've had to go through?
It was like being on another planet, but one I was happy to be on. It was a couple of years or a year and a half, whatever at that point of, playing it really safe, staying at home, dealing with the world, or not the world so much, this country being just crazy. Um, so getting the job was there. I had a lot of questions about how it was all going to work out with COVID, and those initial first steps, like any first steps, were a little scary. Like, oh my God, I'm in a car. Okay, I'm on a plane. Why am I at an airport? What is it? What am I doing? But boy, I got to hand it up to Netflix, which I know is going to sound like I'm trying to, suck up to Netflix, but
There could
they
be a sequel.
were
Come on.
no, they were. I mean, certainly given what 2020 was, when someone can make you feel comfortable and make you feel safe, the value of that is much higher than it used to be for me. And that's exactly what Netflix and the entire cast and crew did. Like, it was a very safe, fun environment. And our set photographer, Sergey, kept saying, like, these are historical documents. Like, we're doing rehearsals wearing masks and shields. And yeah, it was crazy, but I would have taken that to no masks, no shields, and just hoping we weren't going to get COVID. So it was really safe, and it was really good.
That's excellent. What was your relationship with Sam Page like? The two of you really had a great sort of old buddy chemistry that it seemed very natural. I was curious what it was like to work with him.
I think it's good casting, very fortunate casting, certainly for us, because you work and you have people that you work with, and you've got people that you end up becoming friends with, and Sam and I have become friends. It was I think the best compliment was someone coming on set saying, how long have you guys known each other? We're like, I'm like a week. So it was very easy. He made it very easy. He's very funny and very smart and very nice.
So one of the things that I find interesting in a movie like this is how to balance the tone, because obviously there are some elements that are more on the comedic side, and certainly there are elements. We're dealing with a murdered sister. There are some serious
Right.
elements here, and a lot of your part in this, are rolled eyes at the relationship or sort of glib aside. I was curious, how you approach the tone of this sort of project, both generally and in your performance specifically.
Boy, I should ask you how I did before I answer that question, probably. Um,
I could
it was,
I'll tell I thought you were a delight. Just
oh,
genuinely,
thank you.
both my wife and I laughed at so many of your
Oh,
line
good.
readings. It was really you were my favorite part of the film. So
Thank you so much. I really, and now I feel like I've just dug for it. So I apologize for that. But it was the most important question for me to ask Monica was, given the subject matter, given Alyssa and what she's passionate about in life, given what I'm passionate about in life, given a lot of things, like, how do we do something where if I'm being told I'm supposed to be the funny one, it's like, great. So I'm the one that's going to get my head on the guillotine if things go wrong, right? So still hoping that doesn't happen. But that was it. It was like, I've got to find a way to, when can I be funny? What moment could be funny? And I know, having spoken to a few cops in my in doing research about not so much this project, but other projects playing police officers, they're like, you got to find a way to laugh. If you don't laugh, you will go nuts. So that informed some of my decisions. Running things past the team, like, does this seem funny? Is this cool? I'm going to try something. If it's terrible, just, don't shake your finger. Just say it's bad. Let's try something different. But that was it. And it was a great conversation, mostly with Monica and I, about trying to figure out, like, okay, we just found this. Is this a moment where I can make a joke, or is this a moment where I can't roll my eyes, or is this something where in this moment are we actually like completely committed to? And it's the characters. Are the characters completely in their moment of police work where they're focused on doing a thing, or are they having a moment in between moments where they can like enjoy their relationship before they have to, face the camera, as a police officer might say? Yeah.
Did you find the adaptation process gave you more flexibility? I've not read the original underlying novel, but I know that it's sold a great many millions of copies, and that Nora Roberts
Yeah.
has many fans. Do you feel any particular fidelity to that universe? Was there flexibility in terms of what you wanted to do with this character?
I think hiring me was probably showed some flexibility, so I continue to run with the flexibility. But I think it's one of the things that makes the job really great, and certainly this job really great, is that Monica said, okay, go do something, go create something, and then you try something, and then she might be like, okay, more of that or less of it, or let's try something different. So there's a great deal of trust that she gave, which was great, and Netflix gave, which was great. And I think that allowed the freedom to create as much as we could, and then through what Monica said, or through the editing process, they can pick the pieces that make the most sense. So a lot of the stuff with the humor, I might have done 2 or 3 different takes that were hitting that comic moment differently, and then kind of wait to see how it pulled together.
Do you feel drawn to doing more comedy type work in the future? I know there's a lot of drama, billions
Yeah.
on your resume. Do you feel drawn in that direction in the future?
My father would be happy. He's always like, why don't you do funny stuff? People will think you're funny. Like, it's not entirely my choice, Dad, but thanks. So I mean, I loved it. I absolutely had a good time with this project. I felt bad because I was doing the ADR, the additional dialogue recording afterwards, and I got a chance to watch a scene or two, and I laughed, and I'm like, they're gonna think I'm so arrogant. But I usually watch stuff I do, and I'm like, okay, that was not bad. That was a decent moment. But I don't ever get a chance to laugh or do anything funny in the stuff that I do either. So it was really pleasurable to shoot it. I hope that my experience, having other people's experience, matches my experience shooting it.
Do you have I guess, sort of a big picture philosophy on what you look for in roles? What
Yeah.
inspires you to chase a project?
Well, it's a little bit of it's 2 different things. There's where I am in my career as an actor, and how much ability do I have to actually pick and choose roles that I do. But I do pick and choose auditions where I'll be like, no, I don't want to do that. No, I'm not interested in that. So there are things that are disrespectful or degrading in a way that's not interesting or revealing about character or humanity that I'm not interested in doing. I would love to be doing science fiction. I consume a great deal of science fiction. I'm not in New York, where I've done most of my work, is not a science fiction hub. So hopefully there's more of that. So what I look for is a good character, hopefully a director and a writer, just a team of people. And I don't know that till I get there, really, but depending on what the audition is, I might have a sense of who that person is before I go into it. But that, I think, is the most important thing, is just remembering that it's a team, and I ran track in high school, and I loved the relays. I ran 4x4, and what I loved about,
So did I.
Did you really? Oh,
Yeah.
nice. What did you switch, or were you anchor? Were you where did you play?
I was largely a distance runner. I ended up running cross country and track in college, but I had just enough sprint to be able to get tossed on like the B 4x4. So yeah, I was a steeplechaser. I'm kind of a
Perfect.
masochist.
Oh, okay. And I couldn't, and there was no way, like 100 was too quick, and like anything like a 1600, right?
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah, I was like, I can't do it. 400, I'd hit that wall at like 375 and start flailing, but yeah, 400. But I love that there's that individual aspect to, you have to run your race, but then passing that baton is all about teamwork, and that's the way I think filmmaking is. And it's one of the reasons why I love it so much. It feels like everyone does their part, then there's something that we do together, and works out nice. So that's what I look for. I look for that kind of, is it a project that seems like that's going to be a part of it? Is the character someone that evolves? Is the story something worth telling?
I guess we have time for one more question. And I guess I am curious about your sci-fi interest. Is there a particular sort of science fiction that you'd like to pursue in the future?
Oh, well, I mean, Star Wars, of course, is the high water mark, right? Like that's it. But Star Wars, Star Trek. Do you want projects, or do you want kinds of science fiction?
Oh, really? Kinds of science fiction. Is there, are you are you looking towards an Ex Machina? Are you looking towards a space opera?
Blade Runner. Well, this is the thing. Like all these things I grew up loving have like come back. And I'm like, please, my God, So it's exciting and terrifying. I'm like, I'm pursuing it. I'm here because of you guys. Let's get there. But I don't know. A friend of mine years ago booked a pilot, and I booked a pilot, and we both were really happy. And I was telling him about my role. Then he's like, "Oh, I get to fly a spaceship," and I'm like, "I don't even want to talk to him." So yeah, something in space. I think I should be in space.
I agree. I would definitely watch that project. And look, I really appreciate you taking the time today. I've enjoyed chatting with you. And really, I wish you the best of luck with Brazen and with finding the sci-fi film in your future.
Thank you, and likewise. And seriously, and with this mission statement was seriously, it was really beautiful. So best of luck to you.
Thank you. I really, really appreciate that. Best of luck.
All right, take care. Thank you.